What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my channel. My name is Angie, or welcome back if you've been here before. We are talking about in this video the new moon in Gemini, which is also a solar eclipse. Woo woo, this is exciting, okay? So when is this happening? This is happening on Thursday, June 10th, 2021 at 6:53 a.m. That is East Coast time in the United States. So adjust your time for where you live in the world. Okay, so that would be West Coast time would be 3:53 a.m. Okay, so I am filming this the night before, day before. This is Wednesday, so this is happening actually in the morning. Okay, so let's talk Gemini. So Gemini, of course, is the twins. Okay, which is two, it's duality, two choices, two opinions, doing things twice. There are, we do have a few more planets that are in Gemini currently. So recently, if you've been feeling like you've been doing things twice or changing your mind or having to sort of redo something, this is Gemini energy. I will admit there have been multiple things that I've had to do twice. And I sort of kind of had that idea or impression that I was going to have to do it twice. And that's sort of kind of how it played out. So no big deal. That's just the energy. It is what it is, you know. So I would just say, make sure that you are kind of like double checking things, because that's also Mercury retrograde energy as well. Okay, so Mercury is in retrograde until June 23rd. So that's about revisiting, redoing, and so that, the Mercury, my personal opinion is the Mercury retrograde energy really has a huge effect on what's happening right now with the Gemini, okay? Because it's almost like there's double energy there of us revisiting and redoing and having different options, two ways, two opinions, two perspectives, two ways of doing things. Maybe there's, two jobs offers that you're trying to figure out which one you want to go to, which one, what do you want to do, okay? So, Gemini is also an air sign. It is also a masculine sign. So there's a lot of air energy. Okay, so what does that mean? There's a lot of mental energy, a lot of communication, information, sharing information. It's intellectual stimulation. Okay, so it's a lot of being in here. Just that brain, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking and I got this. So should I do that? Should I do this instead? What about that? What about this? It's collaborating, sharing, you're sharing information. You're trying to get new ideas. You're trying to see which direction to go in. This is all about Gemini. Okay. Gemini, it's all about the brain, mental stimulation, my beautiful people. Okay. So with the full moon that we had, 2 weeks ago, okay, this is really how I'm feeling about that full moon, because that does tie into this energy. So I kind of want to go back a little bit, okay, because the full moon that we just had was also a full moon lunar eclipse. Okay, so what I just learned today was that usually there's a solar eclipse first and then a lunar eclipse. So now this time we've started in this eclipse season, the energy is actually reversed, okay? Which is a little bit different and a little bit more intense, because this full moon energy that we just had 2 weeks ago was all about really how I feel certain things really coming to light for us, okay? Understanding what we want to begin now, and sort of so it was sort of like these energies that came up. It was sort of like we had this really huge epiphany or aha moment or something to where, listen, I'm gonna tell you from personal experience, last week was very intense. It was intense. I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, it was a personal week of intensified energy in communication and in my career, and just in certain things involving communication, and being clear and being in situations I've never been in before, and sort of tripping up on my words and feeling like I just don't have this mental clarity at all whatsoever. So I found myself in some very difficult and very uneasy, situations that I was like, oh my God, like, what does this even mean? Okay. So it's almost like, I read it in an article today. It's almost like a crisis point. Okay. So there's a potential from that full moon that we just had 2 weeks ago. We had some sort of crisis, some sort of like breakthrough, breakdown, some huge big change, light being shown, shining down upon something in your life to where you're like, oh my God, I really got to make some changes, This could even be concerning around health. Okay. So, there was definitely another area recently of something for me that came up that, I had to, currently change my diet in certain situations and things in order to, make my body function normally. Okay. So, this is really like a game-changing moment, somewhere, somehow, some way in your life in the past, in the last 2 weeks, I would say more likely, like I said, for myself, it was last week. So if there was some huge, just something that was just like massive in your life, okay, whether it was, epiphanies in a relationship or a breakup or someone that you finally told them that you have feelings for them, or, if this is career, if this is family, if this is, health, in whatever area in which this is, there was really, you number one, you had no control over the situation, no control. It felt like it was chaotic, but it in this chaos or in this sort of breakdown and this major change is also very eye-opening to breakthroughs, okay? So we have to look at this as a very positive thing, that of whatever happened during the full moon, okay? And whatever that also was, like I said, it was a very emotional discombobulation, some sort of chaotic moment, stress, and really just feeling like you're stepping into the unknown and you had no control over it. Okay. So now that we're stepping into the new moon, okay, which is a solar eclipse, okay, so which means that the energy of this is amplified, okay, which means that it's sort of like from what we experienced last week or within the last 2 weeks, now we have a huge, deeper understanding, okay, we have clarity in our lives in some way, shape, or form. So you have to ask yourself, what have you learned? What have you learned in the last 2 weeks? Okay, from that time of that full moon up until today, right now. Okay, and so with this clarity, what are you going to change, or what maybe have you already started to change? Or what do you need to change that maybe you haven't started yet? There's a potential there that maybe you haven't started to make those changes yet. Okay, but you also have to ask yourself, with that clarity of those specific situations, circumstances, emotions, and thought processes of whatever those breakdowns and chaos and discombobulation was, what is new that is coming out of that? Where do you want to go from here? What intentions are you setting now moving forward? Okay. So this is really beautiful. Because it's literally like a month of transformation, huge, massive transformation. We already had the breakdown and the breakthrough, and now we're taking that, we're moving on emotionally from whatever that was. We're letting that go. And now we're moving forward saying, well, okay, so this is what happened. I needed to take a step back. Maybe we needed to take 2 steps back before we can take another step forward. And we have to restructure, refigure, redo, relearn, unlearn, configure what we're going to do moving forward from this point. Okay. So I don't want to say it's like a clean slate. You know what I'm saying? But in a sense, it almost is. And it could be for some people. And I sort of feel that way as well. So that's interesting that those words of clean slate, I'm just seeing this like whiteboard. It's just like whoosh, clean slate. Okay. So where and what are you wanting to build on this platform of this clean slate now, moving forward with this new moon energy? New moons are all about new energy, new things, new intentions, new ideas, new ways, new energy, okay? And where are you wanting to, what are you wanting to do with that energy? What are your new ideas? What's been coming to you recently, or what, from what happened in the last 2 weeks. Now, how are you implementing that information into your life in order to make the necessary changes in order to strengthen your foundations, or to shift in a different direction, in which is going to be more suitable, more feasible, less stressful, less anxiety, and make you more happy, you know? So I really feel that we've gotten some clarity within the last 2 weeks, and now we have a big, deeper understanding, okay? So what I would like to say is, this is so interesting because I had a really, I had an interesting dream last night, and I don't know if I really want to get into it, but anyhow, last night in Sedona, Arizona, that's where I live. I live in Sedona, Arizona, and there was a aircraft in the air that we were not exactly sure what it was. And I was at a friend's house, lives right down the street from me, and she's like, Angie, we're in her living room, and she was looking through her skylight. She just saw this ball of light, and we were like, what the hell is that? And so we come outside, and we're like laying on our driveway, literally laying in our driveway, staring at this thing to see what it's going to do, and, you know, all these things. And so, anyway, come to find out it was a weather balloon, unfortunately. I have seen UFOs here, yes, and this did not act like, you know, the UFOs that I've seen. So I was kind of questioning, but there were a lot of people who were posting it on Facebook. And anyway, so I had this dream last night about 2 astronauts like floating off and being in the sky. And so that really signified to me this whole unknown craft of the weather balloon. But anyhow, getting off on a tangent. So from that dream, immediately the first thing that when I woke up is I heard the words, go forward, not backward. That's not true. There's only been a couple of times in my life to where as soon as I open my eyes, or right where I'm before about to open my eyes, that I have actual word messages come in. And so this morning was one of those days. And so the message that I got was go forwards, not backwards. So I really do feel that this ties in completely with this new moon energy. Okay. And it's sort of, you know, we're being asked to, you know, be motivated in order to, you know, of course, let go and resolve any sort of past issues that could possibly be coming up, because there might be a potential, because this is so much mind energy, that our brain may want to go to the past. We may have to revisit the past in certain situations, challenges, or things we've overcome that we broke through in the last 2 weeks. And I had found myself, you know, since last week, you know, really sort of like, you know, of course, being on the hamster wheel of those particular situations that were a challenge for me. So this is really saying, okay, been there, done that, let it go. Let's move on, move forward, and implement a new structure into our lives, okay? And the other information here, which I found very interesting, of course, we're going to talk about the Moonology book a little bit. So the Moonology book that I have, which is obviously all about the cycles of the moon, states 5 different things. So they're saying that for the new moon in Gemini, any new moon is also solar eclipse, okay? And not that I'm not saying that every new moon is a solar eclipse, but when there is a solar eclipse, it is a new moon, okay? So the number 1 is communication, okay? So understand that with this new moon energy, and new moon energy with full moon energy hangs around for about 72 hours, okay? Which Gemini is also communication in general, okay? So communication is going to be huge. Make sure that it's sort of like setting new intentions in new ways. We might be motivated to sort of speak our truth more, or to speak up and stand up for ourselves. Or we might have this extra energy of, this like self-confidence, okay? So communication is going to be huge. That's number 1. Number 2, meditation. Now, for those of us who stay on the hamster wheel in here, okay, meditation is going to be your best friend over the next 3 days, okay, especially for this energy, and this is over a whole life, okay? This is just great information in general. These are just tools and things for the specific new moon in Gemini, okay? Number 3, socialize. So socialize. I thought that was interesting because I actually had a brunch date this week, which was very interesting and very amazing. And I had such a great time. And And then I also, had my little weather balloon experience last night with a different friend. And I honestly have not socialized that much in a very long time. So socialization is actually something that is important, and especially, wherever you live in the world right now, and whatever is happening where you live, I'm just going to leave it at that. Maybe that doing that has been sort of a challenge, not being able to actually, go out to eat, or, maybe you have friends who don't want to come over, So I understand that's sort of been an issue, or been sort of a challenge for some people. Okay. So this new moon is really saying, like, listen, it is time to come out of the cave, and it is time to socialize and get out there and go to lunch and have brunch and have dinner or breakfast, or go for a walk, or, get people together, meet people, do something that is not, be open to invitations. And if you get an invitation, this is confirmation to go. Okay. Number 4, this one is very interesting to me, and I'm not going to get personally involved in it, but this one sort of hit home for me. Okay. Those of you who know me personally understand this as soon as I say it. See your siblings. This is very interesting, and it's definitely complicated when, if there's a sibling, that you have that you don't have a good relationship with. Okay. So I thought that was very interesting. And so when I read that, and I read that paragraph in there, it was all about opening the doors of communication with this specific sibling, if there is sort of, or has been, some sort of something that needs to be resolved. So opening the door of communication. And if you don't feel comfortable and confident in being able to physically open the door and having a conversation, or picking up the phone, or a text message, or an email, or going over to their house, I really feel like this is sort of maybe writing a letter. And I mean, like, in the form of a burn letter, and sort of, maybe letting out some, writing them a letter, and letting your feelings be known and communicate, okay? Because communication is huge, okay? Communicating and being able to open up into how your feelings really truly are concerning, that, sibling dynamic, okay? And burning that letter, and then, sort of opening the door in that manner if you can't actually, physically, sort of open that door, so to speak. Okay, so that's another way of doing it. The last but not least is number 5, which is read more. Interesting. So picking up a book, reading, it's all about knowledge, right? Because it's all about the brain. So it's all about communicating, thinking, internalizing, learning new ideas, learning new things, signing up for a course, a class. What are you intrigued about? I really feel like this is like reading about universal themes, or if this is, watching a documentary, or, something that really, really intrigues you, So I found that very interesting. God knows I have a million books that I've started and have not finished. So, there's definitely some things on this list that have hit home for me. So, let me know in the comments below how you feel about these 5: communication, meditation, socialization, seeing your siblings, and reading more. So with that, without further ado, I am going to pull a few cards here. I do have the Sacred Journey cards that I was drawn to. So I really, really wanted to see if there's any other information for those of you that are watching this video. Specific information. Maybe what we need to focus on, or what else we need to focus on. So what else for people that are watching this video for this new moon in Gemini for the next 72 hours? What is the information? Is there a message? Please give me a message. Okay, we have 2 cards. I feel like this top one. Oh, look at this. Wow. Go slow and take time. Fogged in. I can't even make this shit up, you guys, okay? So this really, to me, okay, just reiterates that whole, like, You know, some of us could be in a place to where we are having fogginess and we're trying to move forward in whatever sort of situation, circumstance, relationship, whatever our meltdown, breakdown, breakthrough was, or possibly will be if that hasn't happened for you yet. Maybe you can't see the forest through the trees right now, okay? So maybe you're trying to figure out a way to get through this. And this is also, water is all about emotions, you guys, okay? Water is about emotions. So emotions, feelings, how are you feeling about it? You're trying to, you know, sail through something, shift through something. There's changes, you know, it's shifting the sails and trying to figure out and navigate your way, following your North Star, okay? So I would suggest that, you know, doing some journaling that would be able to, you know, at least be able for you to get out some, you know, of your own internal communication. And this is all about taking time and going slow. So it's not like, you got to understand that, you know, life is a journey. Okay. So you're not going to figure all this shit out. You're not going to figure out your life, okay, in one day, you know? So it's coming up with some kind of game plan, or maybe throwing out some ideas out there, sitting for a little while and really kind of just understanding and sort of going through these things. You know, what did you have no control over? You know, and now it's like you're kind of picking up the pieces and you're trying to really figure out, okay, well, I don't really know what to do next. I don't really know what my next step is, you know? So this is really saying, you know, go slow, take the time to figure this out. Don't make any irrational decisions. The stuff that recently happened was out of your control. You had no control over it. It needed to happen. Something needed to break down or deconstruct in your life in order, okay, for you to be able to step out and see it, because you haven't been able to see it because you've been in it. Okay. And now we have this bigger understanding, a bigger perspective, more reasoning. We see it now. You know, so now with that information that you're gathering and the emotions that you feel about that, it's like piecing or sifting through and seeing through that and trying to, I'm seeing like a Rubik's Cube, okay? So it's like, you know, trying to match all those colors and trying to figure out, you know, what it is that you're going to do next with that information, okay? So I think that fits absolutely perfectly. I'm going to pull one last card. So I am going to pull, I don't remember the name of this deck. I think this is the Universe Has Got Your Back deck. So what is the message, universe, for this new moon solar eclipse in Gemini for June 10, 2021? I am the dreamer of my dream. Oh, ain't that the damn truth, okay? So listen, okay? You know, wherever that you're trying to go, all right, it's almost like I want to tell you, you know, that whatever that you're dreaming of, or whatever that your big dream is, whatever your big goals are, whatever you want to achieve in your life, you are the dreamer of your dream. You can achieve it. You just have to be able to trust yourself and to know that your dreams can come true in time. Go slow. Take your time, you know, wait until all the pieces fall into place. This could also be gathering information. This could also be communication coming in. And like I said, with us being in Mercury retrograde, I really truly feel that Mercury retrograde is giving us a lot more information currently around, you know, the situations or whatever in which we have really sort of gained a lot of insight from. Okay. And so I really feel like this is restructuring our lives in a very specific way individually. And so the way that I'm seeing this, I am the dreamer of my dream. It's like, okay, well, you know, what do you want? It's almost like the universe is saying, listen, you know, you're the writer, you're the creator, you know, you're the writer, the publisher, the actor, the publicist, you know, the reviewer, you know. So it's like in what direction are you going? And, you know, it's sifting through certain things and being able to allow that fog to sort of, you know, if we need to sit in that fogginess for a little bit, it's perfectly okay, until you can finally see yourself coming through and coming up with a plan, you know? coming with a plan or new ideas or a direction. Okay. So on that note, my beautiful people, have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful new moon in Gemini. Set some intentions, write your burn letters. Definitely set some intentions, even if it is just 5 to 10 things. Make it very short, very meaningful, very intentional. Set those intentions, write them down. Writing them down and speaking them to the universe is very powerful. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. You know, if that doesn't resonate with you, you can make your list in your phone. Just take advantage of this energy in which you have to allow yourself to really set yourself up for success, you know, in using this energy, because, you know, we are in the midst of eclipse season, and it's going to be a little bit of a long one. So, you know, there's more to come with this energy. So it's harnessing this energy in a more meaningful way to sort of catapult you forward faster. Okay. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, all your comments, your likes, all that good stuff. If you'd like a private reading from me, I'd love to do that from you. You can check me out on livingbyspirit.com. Also, I am and just launched bracelets. So I have crystal bracelets for sale now, and I will be eventually coming up with some other different types of products and things. So if you want to keep up with me and all of the amazing stuff that I have happening, you can check me out at livingbyspirit.com. Otherwise, I will see you all on the next video. Much love and light always. Namaste. Bye for now.